Okay, so according to my birth certificate, it says a Brandon is the name according to my birth certificate. And it's the name that someone else chose for me. Okay, so I was told that, Brandon is a European name, like it's a name that, when you get to the root of it, they say, it's a European's name, and some people did not like me because of my name and because it was, associated with being a European name and stuff like that. And different people would call themselves families and cultures, and I don't really know because people would say that they had tribes and kingdoms and groups or factions or gangs and organizations and uh, communities and stuff like that. It's crazy. So some of the people said that they would not want me to run off with a European person, because being married, there was a lot of ladies, girls, women, people that said that, when a person of color, or whether it's the color that I am or any color, would be married, that a lot of those guys ran off with, a European person, a European woman or something, or just a European person, And I saw it on TV a lot, There was a movie and it was called Custodian Flow, and they said that they won an Oscar for the movie. And it was like looking back on something, you might see something you didn't see before. It was a guy in the movie, and I think his name was Terrence or something. I think that was his name. The actor's name was Terrence or something. When I would go to 2928 Avenue T, Inslee in Birmingham, Alabama, you know, the girl, the person who said she was my wife, was trying to find out what was going on, with the family because they would be, writing a lot of letters and stuff like that to some guy named Terrence or something like that. I don't know if it was the same guy or whatever because, when they said that they know famous people and stuff like that. And it's crazy because, in that movie, also in Flow, I think the guy's name was Terrence. He, you know, he was supposed to be like a pimp. And he had a European, a person, a woman, and he was making her prostitute so that he can have a rap career. And, it had something to do with some guy named Anthony, and it was crazy because, I never used a European person, a woman, lady for a rap career or, I was never a pimp, so I never made a European woman prostitute or do any of that stuff, So, when they said that, brothers and sisters, you know, my European brothers and sisters, they was like some of those people would be mad at the different families of different colors and stuff. And so some of the people told me, that since people said they were my brother in my family and that they were different colors, they did not want me to get hurt because, it they said like if someone saw me running off, like with the European woman, person, lady, girl, however people identify themselves these days, some of the people would be mad at me, you know, because they would be like, he is one of those colored people, that a part of their family, the people that abused those European women, children, ladies, those people that were angry at each other for what the different colored people did. And as I explained, just like when a guy, said he was in the army, it was a guy named Antoine or J Rock, or it's what he called themselves, or he used different names and stuff like that. And it was a lady named Jennifer. She was in the army. I wasn't the one that did any of that stuff to her or her European brothers or sisters. So, just because a person is a person of color, it does not mean they are a brother. And it does not mean that they are my brother, stuff like that. Because I did not want any of the bad karma associated with what they did. I was told not to pick sides and not to choose sides. Because growing up, reading in the Bible, they said it was somebody, and they called him Jesus, and that someone pierced his side, and they pierced his side. And it was like, the way it was explained to me, it was like, and that's why you're not supposed to pick sides. Because when they pierced his side, they was not supposed to choose the left side or the right side or the front side or the back side. They were not supposed to choose any side because they were not supposed to pierce his side. They were supposed to allow God, you know, you know, whatever it is God does, they were supposed to allow God's judgment, instead of trying to be God or, do that stuff themselves. So, as a child, when I would, be abused and I was being treated bad, I never did understand, like, why, my European brothers and sisters, when they said it was a lady named Tiffany Large or something like that, probation officer, or, when they said it was a lady named Cindy Thomas and stuff like that, and a lady named Miss Ash and stuff like that. I did not make any bad karma because I wasn't the one that, ever did any bad stuff to them. And when they said that it was, different people, you know, it was crazy because I am a witness of, those situations. Because when I was at this Haven Inn hotel one time in the city of Macon, Georgia, and it was a guy, he looked like an Ethiopian. He wasn't the same color as me, of course. And there was a European girl with him, and it's like he was sex trafficking her or making her be a prostitute, or you know, it's like he would make her work, and while she would work, I don't know what he would do. It's like he was trying to sell drugs or something, or he was trying to have sex with other men, and he was trying to tell me about guns and you know promoting the wrong stuff. And I was told that Just don't worry about it, Brandon. They believing in God, when people make projections, because it was something about some lights and some cameras, and they tried to make it seem like it was the end of the world and some projections, and it was real bad quality and stuff like that. And, something about Hitman and the music and stuff like that. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff. And I was told that, when a person makes those projections and it's demonic position and stuff like that, since I did not make bad karma because I did not make any projections, and I'm not the one that started the cycle, and I'm not the one that created those chains of events, that God does not allow people to set us up with their projections or with their patterns that they made, because all you have to do is tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And when God investigates the situation and sees that it was projections and people tried to create lust, rage, anger, and when they tried to make me say stuff, and when they tried to make me do stuff, and when they tried to make me go places and be in situations that I did not chose, God knows that it was not my choice to be in those places or to do any of those, whatever it was, meant for bad reasons. The person who projected it, whether they used the lights, the cameras, the images, and all of it, it was not me. Because no matter how much, I thought that I loved or liked it, or even if it was lust that was projected or wherever it came from, I never projected, other people. I never tried to project to other people. I never tried to trap or trick other people. So I did not make any of those bad karma projections or any projections from any of the bad karma. So, when I was speaking about my European brothers and sisters, it was like some people said, don't run off with the European women and stuff like that, because, some of the people would be mad at me for what the people that said they were brothers or my brothers, the people that claimed they were my brothers, said that they did. Because just because you're the same color doesn't mean you're brothers. And just because you're different colors doesn't mean you're not brothers. It's the way I was taught. And it was like, it was a guy, he said there was a guy in, like in those movies, in the Hustle and Flow movie. And, even though it was just a movie, it made a point. They said that, sometimes the stuff that people do in the movies, other people tried to do it in real life. There were people of color that tried to, make European people into prostitutes and sex workers. And I saw it in the city of Macon, you know, Macon, Georgia. And the guy told me that, he can have sex with, um, girls and boys, and that he wanted me to have sex with his girlfriend or something. It's crazy because I, from what I was told, they were not even married. He was just using a European woman as a sex worker. And some of those people was like, don't call him your brother, because if you say that he's your brother, the European family of that female would be mad at me for saying that I'm his family. So he is not my brother. That guy that was at the Haven Inn motel, hotel, some Holiday Drive, stuff like that. And then he would be using it early, and like sometimes, they would give the girls drugs and stuff and make them addicted to different, chemicals and substances. And like sometimes the girls would be victims and criminals at the same time. Because even though there would be addicted to drugs and stuff like that, you know, they were not supposed to be projecting or trying to set me up, you know, in a trap or in a trick or using projections and stuff like that. And I was told not to do that because, you know, when that Antoine or J Rock or whatever he calls himself, Jeremy, Jamel, German, the different names that they would use for those people. When he got that European person pregnant, it was a girl named Jennifer. Like, her family, you know, would, you know, probably be mad and angry at him, you know, because it's the same way like when you get married. If she did not have a cherry or a virginity for her husband and stuff like that, her husband and her family would probably be angry, you know, if she had got married and stuff. And they would be mad at the family, you know, that did it, you know, to their daughter, to their child. And I can understand, like, how stuff like that would make people mad. And then when they would say that I'm their brother, it would be crazy because what if a lady or a person named Jennifer was mad at me because she said, and he's one of them, and he's their brother? No, don't blame me for what they did, you know, because he wasn't even 38 years old, you know, and I am 38 years old today, and I still have not abused or, you know, impregnated a European person or ever even physically fought or attacked, you know, whether using a knife or a gun or any kind of weapon, any of the European brothers or sisters. So, you know, it was always strange and always weird to me when any European person would ever try to be angry or mad at me, since I did not make any bad karma. And when they check their whole, you know, when they check, you know, the family tree, there is no victims of me, you know, as a violent or sexual abusive person to their family. You know, it's crazy. So, you know, when I was living in the city of Macon, Georgia, you know, I made some videos, and I was talking about when I was living in the city of Warrior, Alabama, in the Cane Creek Apartments, you know, at 402 Bay Circle. There was a guy that, you know, he called himself Mine or something. You know, people would brag and they like, hey, he got his own state. You ever heard of a state called Mine? Well, these Germain or German or Jeremy, you know, they would pronounce it different ways. He would be abusive to females. He would fight this girl, and her name was Tiffany. She was supposed to be pregnant, and he would still fight her. And then he left her and was on Facebook with a European woman. And I don't even think that he married her either. And, you know, I was told, you know, that don't call them your family or your friends or your brother, those people like mine and stuff, because they were abusive to females, and I wouldn't want to be included in the group that they were associated with, because he abused an Ethiopian woman. The girl Tiffany looked like an Ethiopian. She was kind of darker. And the European woman, you know, he was on Facebook with her, you know. I don't know why they would, you know, use those girls in those bad ways. And then they said he was a guy, you know, his name was supposed to be Tony, Antonio Davidson. He was supposed to be the son of Helen Davidson. And they said, you know, he abused the females the same way. Because they said it was a lady, her name was supposed to be Rose, you know, and he had a baby with her and did not marry her. Said it was a lady, her name was supposed to be Francella. He had a baby with her, and, you know, I never heard of him being married to her. Then the next thing I know, they said that he was abusive to a European woman because it was a lady named Cindy or something like that. And, you know, they did the same thing on Facebook with a lady named Cindy. And She was a European person. And then it was like, and he's part of that family. I'm like, no, don't include me with the bad karma that they made. Whether it was an Ethiopian person or a European person, whatever color. I did not abuse those females or those people. No, I did not. So, it's crazy because when I would go to 29, 28 Avenue T Inslee, one day I had went over there because, just like now, it would just be me in a room. And I was like, I want my wife. I'm tired of waiting, you know. One time there was a person over there named Quincy or something like that. They called him cute. It was not me. I'm not cute. I'm not Quincy, you know. And he was bragging on how he saw this girl naked named Sharita or Gonzalez. He was bragging on, using Mexican girls, and seeing them naked. And they said his name was Q or Quincy. It was a girl named Gonzalez was her name. And he wanted me to hear him say it, like that he saw her naked. And I'm like, I thought it was very disrespectful when he said that, But, I was told that, don't make any bad karma and you wouldn't want to, be involved in their sexual activity or whatever they did because you don't know what kind of agreements or deals that they made with each other in order for him to see her naked or in order for her to even be around him in the first place. Like, why was he even allowed over there? It's crazy, And I was told that, one of the girls was trying to help her sister, because she said she had a sister and she was trying to help her sister. And when I was there, that guy, that they call Q or Quincy or whatever, he did the same thing. He was on Facebook in a picture with the European women, and I don't think he was married to her and bragging on using her for sex and stuff, like. And so if people saw me with the girl, the girl that said that she's my wife, the girl that, supposed to be my wife, I was not associated with those guys or those people that was abusing those females because, the marriage license has a date of 2004. So, I was molested and abused before and after 2004, it seems. But I didn't use being molested as an excuse to do it to other people, and it's crazy. So, there was a lot of women, it was like, why is it that every time, those guys would always run off with those European women? Like when it was Tiffany and Maine, like why did Maine run off with the European women? Or when it was Quincy and he was talking about seeing girls naked, like why did he run off with the European women? Stuff like that. Like it was like when it was Michael Jordan, why did he run off with the European women? Stuff like that. They said when he was a rapper, Kanye West, why did he run off with the European women? Because it's crazy. It was like he was in those pictures with Donald Trump, so he was part of those people that was talking about weaponizing children and making some fake church and religion because they said when that Kanye West dude ran off with the European women, he started calling himself God or Jesus or something like that. It's crazy because I'm not God, and God, it seemed like it was very disrespectful what they did, and they said that they didn't want me to do that. They didn't want me to run off with some European women and start calling myself God or Jesus, stuff like that, because it's evidence that other people did, So it wasn't because of, the colors of people and stuff like that. It's because of the examples that other people did, And so I said, no, when, those people that, tried to make me do what they did, I told them no. So, there were some European women, and some of them said that, that they liked me and that they thought that I looked good. And since I was abused before and after April 30th, 2004, and since I was abused before and after August 31st, 2004, they would, want me to do the same thing those other guys did and say no to my marriage and run off with one of the European, brothers or sisters. They didn't care as long as it's a European person. And I said no because I don't want to be like Michael Jordan. I don't want to be like Kanye West, I don't want to be like that dude in Hustle and Flow, I don't want to be like that dude that was at the Haven Inn, I don't want to be like mine, I don't want to use and abuse women, whether they're European women or Ethiopian women or whatever color they are. And I don't want to use and abuse men, males or females, whatever color they are, But, it's just the way that I was taught growing up, and stuff like that, And what I learned in those situations is that, bad stuff happened to some of those people when they did bad stuff, when they abused those women, whether they were European women or Ethiopian women or whatever color they were, Because, it's crazy because the same guy, they said it was Antoine Johnson. After he abused the different color women, it said something about a youth in Asia that he went to Asia. I think it was called, where is it? It's something, I don't know. But they said he went somewhere in Asia, to the Philippines. And that he impregnated a Filipino Asian person. And that he was just trying to have babies and sex and stuff with every different color person and not even being married to them. And I really just don't even understand why they would do that, So, some of the people said that, they wanted me to do the same stuff and that it was something about, was something that they did and they called themselves a family. And it was like, I'm not part of those families of people that abuse women or men or females or any of it, They said someone started a war a long time ago, and since I wasn't there, I cannot bear witness. I didn't actually see anyone drop any bombs. I didn't actually see anyone give anyone any, smallpox, or I didn't actually see anyone, do any of that stuff. It's just what people told me, so I wouldn't want to bear false witness because what if those people were lying and none of this stuff never even happened, I never even seen like, the concentration camps or the, any of those wars that they said happened in history. It's like, what if that was just his story or something that he said? Did I actually see any of that happen? It's like, no. I was just told to fight evil. And what that means is fight the evil urge of making a girl or a person into a single mom, a single mother, stuff like that. And it's crazy because when I was growing up, they said that Yolanda lady and that Willie guy had got a divorce. And during that time, she would be a single mom and he would be a single dad and stuff like that. And so they had already broke their, code or their vows or whatever because once they signed those divorce papers and she became a single mom and he became a single dad and stuff like that, they lost their honor and stuff, and like it had something to do with like, because he wasn't supposed to do it, It was supposed to be, a bond, you know. So, I don't really understand, what happened with the children or with the family. But I was told that, it's not worth my soul because it's not my job, to pick sides or be in those wars because of a person that had sex with another person or a person that did sex stuff with someone else. I didn't want to be attached to another person's sexual activity, whether it was, forced, projected, whatever it was that they did, because I am married, and since I don't know all the answers, it was explained to me then that means I'm innocent. Because since I don't know, they'll be like, well, he don't know what's going on. He don't know what happened. But they know what they did and they're guilty because they actually planned it. Family planning. They actually planned for it to be a certain way. So, some people said that they were guilty. And since I'm not the judge, I can't judge anyone. But since I don't know what's going on, I was told that, it's just sad. But I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others. So, it was just more about what, I was told. So I wanted my family and my children and my wife to know that I said no. I'm not gonna do what they did. I'm not running off with a European woman or a European person to a different relationship. It just is what it is. And I love you all, believe me, I do. But I don't want to be accused of being a bad guy, like those Tony people or those people from those movies that was abusing those females.